the depths of the ancient past, a civilization was rising with strength, one that still baffles us today with its mysteries, the Sumerians of Mesopotamia. But what makes them even more intriguing are the gods who, according to their ancient texts, descended from the heavens. They are the Anunnaki. According to the Sumerian cuneiform tablets, the Anunnaki were divine beings who came to Earth from a distant planet called Nibiru. These celestial beings are described in Sumerian mythology as part of the divine pantheon, greatly influencing the formation and development of human civilization. Legends recount that the Anunnaki embarked on an ambitious project, the creation of humanity. According to these ancient texts, human beings were created to serve these gods, to assist in their labor, and to satisfy their needs. Today, the Anunnaki are a subject of fascination and intense debate. Historians, archaeologists, and ancient astronaut theorists discuss their true nature and existence. Were they simply myths and legends, products of Sumerian imagination? Or do we face a deeper enigma, a chapter of history that has not yet been fully unveiled? The Anunnaki have been the subject of countless theories and speculations. However, the reality about who these cosmic beings were could be broader and more complex than we have believed. Join us on a journey of discovery as we unveil the true identities of the Anunnaki. According to Swaru of Era, an extraterrestrial being from the Pleiades, the term Anunnaki, in its strictest interpretation, refers to those who came from the sky. However, this designation, when viewed from the perspective of Earth, is often associated with the reptiles. On the other hand, the term Elohim, which includes the Lyrians, Elohai, Salatians, Engan, and Taygeteans, should not be linked with the Anunnaki in this context. Despite this, many scholars have mistakenly mixed or connected the concept of Anunnaki with that of Elohim and, even worse, with that of Nephilim. The concept of Nephilim is more complex, as it refers to the fallen angels. It has become a kind of Pandora's box where the concepts of Anunnaki and Elohim are grouped together, and they are considered as beings opposed to the biblical God. Swaru points out that Triangulum has a portal. That portal, around 12,000 years ago, was connected to the Pleiades, from where the Elohim, Anu, and Yahweh came. This is where the concept of Trinity originates. For the Kabbalah, the Triangulum constellation is the basis of everything and the most important. This importance is manifested in its symbolism, in which everything is represented through the triangle. The obelisks, which are present everywhere, present a triangle at the top as an invitation to look up at the triangle. This portal, known as Triangulum, is where the Elohim emerged, beings who largely founded civilization on Earth. These beings are often referred to as Anunnaki, depicted as bearded Sumerians with wings. But they were not only Elohim as a race, among them were also the Engan and Taygeteans. The Triangulum portal has great significance for the Kabbalah, as it is seen as the place of creation and the dwelling of the Trinity, that is, the three gods. It is considered the ultimate sacred place of the cosmos, a sort of cosmic holy land. The pyramids, for example, are three-dimensional triangles and symbolize the Trinity, which is the foundation of Egyptian civilization. Each pyramid symbolizes one of the three deities, Ea, Anu, and Enlil. Ea evolved into Yah, which then transformed into Yahweh. Anu, which means creator, became the Almighty God in theology. Enlil, on the other hand, became Elohim, which is the Elohai race from Astaroth, in the Pleiades. Each pyramid symbolizes one of the three deities, Ea, Anu, and Enlil, and these are represented by the following three stars. Although the pyramids align with the constellation of Orion, they were not built for it. The 3 stars mentioned are clearly written in Egyptian hieroglyphics as the basis of civilization and its origin for them. Contrasting it with star maps of Taygeteans, it was discovered that the Elohai had bases in those locations. Athena Swaru, also known as Athena, of the Swarunean extraterrestrial race, clarifies that the definition of Anunnaki can vary. However, from the Taygetean perspective, it is considered that the Anunnaki are all those who descended from the sky to earth to sow knowledge. This concept of sowing is symbolically represented through a bag carried by the Anunnaki, a recurring image not only in Sumerian statues but also in other regions such as Mesoamerica, the Far East, and even some Maui on Easter Island. Thus, from a strict viewpoint and based on the definition, heritage, and history, the Taygeteans, including the Swaruas, are all considered Anunnaki, removing the reptilian connotation erroneously associated with this term. Regarding the earthly interpretation of the figures of Enki, Enlil, Anu, and that entire pantheon, Athena states that they are not necessarily incorrect or false. She is aware that Swaru of Era's stance has raised some alarm among some. However, she maintains that both perspectives possess elements of truth. Earth's experts interpret the Sumerian tablets and the associated supporting documents, such as the Dead Sea Scrolls and even the Popol Vuh of Mesoamerica. According to Athena, these interpretations are perfectly valid and should be studied and respected. Nevertheless, she also points out that the story does not stop there. As with other religious texts, these are written in codes and parables that contain multiple levels of information depending on the context. These can be interpreted in various ways, beyond the 2 most obvious, depending on the level of consciousness, wisdom, and knowledge of the initiate in these hidden subjects. These other ways of interpreting religious texts are reserved for the initiates within secret societies or the highest and most reserved levels of theologians, shamans, yogis, or priests, depending on their religion. Therefore, just as they respect the earthly interpretations of the Sumerian tablets, they try to convey other levels of information about them. We will now delve into a profound expansion of this topic, addressing it through the prism of a fascinating being, Sophia Swaru. Also known as Yaji, and Swarunean extraterrestrial. According to Yaji, the term Anunnaki is not found in her classifications or those of the Federation. Often, this term is used to refer to almost any reptilian race with a negative influence on Earth, such as the Kingu, Draco, Usungal, Noga, and others. However, it is a great mistake and potentially harmful to consider the Anunnaki as a single race. This misconception becomes even more dangerous when thinking of the Anunnaki as exclusively reptilian. And it should be noted that not all reptilian races are malevolent. In reality, Anunnaki would refer to all the races that were present on Earth for an extended period of time, whether guiding it, altering it, or even using it as a base. This term encompasses a set of various star races that dominated or guided humanity and the Earth, especially from 12,000 before Christ to the year 33 after Christ with Vespasian, although the influence persists to this day. From my understanding, and speaking historically from a Taygetean perspective, the 2 most prominent races that would be called Anunnaki at that time were the Taygeteans and the Elohai races, both Pleiadian. Therefore, Anunnaki does not refer to a single race, as many are led to believe, but encompasses several races. The Taygeteans are one of the most prevalent races that were part of the group that is now called Anunnaki on Earth. We are all Anunnaki, to a greater or lesser degree related to those ancient Sumerian gods of old. But how did the Anunnaki acquire a reptilian association? According to Yaji, it all goes back to Zacharias Stitchin, a Jesuit who worked for the Vatican, distorting Sumerian historical information. He didn't even know how to read cuneiform. However, the legacy of the Anunnaki spans more than this single interpretation. So, what have we learned? We have discovered that the Anunnaki represent more than a single race, and that their history and influence are broader than initially believed. Furthermore, we have learned that there are reptilian races in the Pleiades star system that are as progressive as any other. But the diversity does not end there. There are also feline races, like the Taygeteans. In short, the cosmos is a space of immense variety and enigma, with the Anunnaki being a clear example of that. As the ancient proverb says, truth is stranger than fiction. The stories of star races such as the Anunnaki and the Elohim represent much more than mere legends and mythologies. They are the echoes of a stellar past that calls us, a reminder that our existence is intrinsically intertwined with the broader fabric of the universe. The greatness of the cosmos is not simply outside of us, it is also an inherent part of our being. Just as the ancients sowed knowledge on earth, each one of us has the power to sow seeds of change, growth, and love in our world. Never underestimate the power of your actions, no matter how small they may seem. Every thought, every word, every act of kindness is a thread that weaves the vast web of the cosmos. You are a co-creator in this great cosmic masterpiece. Face each day with the confidence that you have the power to make a difference. Your individual light may not seem like much, but in the darkness of the cosmos, even the smallest spark can illuminate a path. Your potential is as vast and deep as the universe itself. Embrace the mystery of your existence and honor the stellar heritage you carry within you. The sky is not the limit, it is only the beginning. You are an explorer in this grand adventure of existence, a time and space traveler, called to discover, learn, and grow. So, look up at the stars and remember who you really are, a being of infinite light, a vital link in the chain of cosmic life. You are here to shine, to love, to live. And in this vast universe, your light is essential. Thank you for watching the video and exploring together a small sample of the fascinating tapestry of life in the universe. If you would like to continue exploring this exciting topic and receive more information, I urge you to subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you will have access to exclusive content, exciting discoveries, captivating stories and ever-expanding knowledge about extraterrestrial life. In addition, we want to excite you even more by recommending the top channels that are our source of inspiration for bringing you information about these fascinating extraterrestrial beings. We encourage you to explore the official channels of Swaru Official, Aryan Israel, Cosmic Agency and Despejando Enigmas. These channels offer you valuable perspectives and a wide range of information about extraterrestrial life. Immerse yourself in their content and let yourself be carried away by the wonder of discovering more about the universe around us. Join us on this exciting journey of knowledge. Let's continue to explore the limits of our knowledge together and embrace the diversity and wonders that await us beyond the stars. Don't miss our next adventure. Subscribe now to join this amazing community of universe explorers. And see you next time.